Welcome to the Native Diamond Podcast.
Oh, shit! What you waiting for?
Please don't forget to like the video, hit subscribe, ring the bell. That way you're notified every time I drop a new episode of Native Diamond Podcast. Feel free to drop a comment because I love hearing feedback from you guys. Without further ado, let's get into today's episode. What's up, my dudes? Seth Mick here. This is Native Diamond Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, as always. And today, I'm hanging out with Pray for Sleep, rock metal band based out of Columbus, Ohio. Thank you so much for being here, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having us. We're excited.
If you guys have never seen the podcast before, I start off with Icebreaker questions. They're about 25 or so off the top, either or style questions. Just say the first thing that comes to mind. I'll kick it off with the first one. Which one do you like better, Sirius XM or Spotify?
Spotify.
I don't use either of those, but I use Spotify because most of our streams come from Spotify.
I'm also going to say Spotify just because that's the one I've been using the longest. And, you know, if I tried to switch over now, my playlists are like 50 hours long, so that'd take a very long time.
Yeah, and I have to listen to Sirius XM the whole time I'm at work, so.
What station do they put on at work?
Oh, some like, not rock.
Like a top 40 kind of thing?
Yeah, something like that. It's not bad. It's just same songs, man.
Well, I feel guilty because I listen to a lot of Sirius XM here lately because
Yeah.
I got a free like trial or whatever. So I've been jamming the butt rock lately.
Nice.
Yes.
Hey, we
No
love
shame. No shame.
All right. Anyway, next question. All right. I don't know if you've seen either of these movies, but if you have, Cabin Fever or Don't Breathe?
I haven't seen either of those, actually.
me neither, but I saw the trailers for Don't Breathe, and that looked really good. So I'll just say Don't Breathe based on what I know of it.
Believe it or not, I'm actually in the same category as Hayden. I think I don't remember if I actually got around to watching the movie or not, but
It
I
looked
thought the
really
movie for
good.
that looked really nice.
Oh, yeah.
But now I need to.
Dude, it's been a while since I've seen those, but Don't Breathe, man, I highly recommend that one over Cabin Fever. I actually think there's two Cabin Fevers. I think there's like a newer one and an older one. I don't know. But anyway, Dayseeker or Bring Me the Horizon?
Currently Dayseeker for me. I love Rory's voice. Mwah. Love that man. Beautiful.
Hayden's going to die over this question.
You've ripped Hayden in two.
What? Okay, like what? Everything that we know of them, or like a certain era, or
I mean, use your discretion. Like, which one have you been jamming, the most recently, or you find yourself listening to more often?
all right. I used to listen to Bring Me like religiously, but Dayseeker.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really, really, really like Bring Me the Horizon, and like even some of their new stuff I've been jamming like on the daily. But Dayseeker just hits different for me. I'm kind of with Grant, like Rory's voice. I don't know what it is about it, but I like first time I saw that dude live, I was like, wow, okay, that guy is just as good as the recording, like
Dude.
every time.
Dude,
But-
our old guitarist somehow got in touch with them when they came into Columbus, and I was with him at the time.
Oh yeah, they slept in his basement.
Yeah, they slept
Yeah.
over because they were like, "Hey, we need a place to stay that's not like sketchy. Like anyone like want to hook us up?" So I got to meet them. They're pretty cool dudes.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've done a couple of these interviews and like people that know them and shit like that. So if you're watching, Rory, I would love to have you on the show, man. Come on down.
Rory, please feature in one of our songs. We love you.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
That'd be the coolest thing ever.
Hey, you got to take your shot when you can,
All right.
Sad boys for life.
What's one talent nobody knows you possess?
My whole family is really good at building puzzles, like putting together puzzles, and like the 3D ones and stuff that are like,
Mm-hmm.
built. I don't know. that's what I got.
Good answer.
My one talent is not knowing what I'm doing on stage or with any music, anything ever, even though it might look like it. Some people,
Nice.
yeah, I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm going with the flow.
My secret talent is being a drummer that can count past 4.
Oh,
Nice.
On occasion. On occasion. It depends. It
That's-
depends on the day. But
that's actually kind
it
of
has
cool.
been recorded before, so I can't do it.
Oh, you see, that just backs up what I just said, because the reason why we recorded anything other than 4/4 is because I was like, I kind of like how this goes, and I was like trying to figure it out, and then we.
Why are you playing in that weird time signature? What's a time signature?
It was like 6/8 or something, and I was
No,
like,
it
yeah,
was-
it's 4/4.
No, it was we were recording a song and he wrote the riff for it and we went to like fully record it
It's like, ooh,
and
that's
he
cool.
forgot to play a single note for no reason and then we
Oh,
just kept it. So it's like
So we have a measure of 7/8 in a song.
yeah, for no reason. Just cause. It sounds cool though.
Nice. The Addams Family or Beetlejuice?
I like the Addams Family. I think I've always loved the Addams Family. Yeah, Beetlejuice's voice just freaked me out, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm uncultured, but I haven't seen those. But I did listen to a lot of Beetlejuice dubstep remixes in middle school, so
I think I'd have to say Addams Family too. I haven't seen those since like I was a little kid,
Mhm.
but I always liked that kind of stuff. And I had one of those like Halloween toys that would do the song.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I've probably heard the theme song I don't know how many times, but yeah, I'd probably have to pick them for sure.
Yeah, I've been seeing like the reruns popping up, I guess because, Halloween's coming around the corner. But
yeah.
as far as superheroes, like not the movie or anything, but Hellboy or Captain America?
Ooh, I think I'd have to pick Hellboy. I really enjoy like mythology and monsters and all of that kind of stuff, and some of the like darker comic book stuff. So I would probably have to pick Hellboy over the Boy Scout.
Nice. I'll have to go with America's Butt. I don't know if I could say that, but let's go with Butt. I'm Captain America.
Yeah, I think I'd go with Captain America as well, but I think they're both cool for their own ways. But I know Captain America is kind of the lame answer here, but classic.
This new Marvel hits different, man.
It does. That's for sure.
Alpha Wolf or Fit for a King?
Oh, dude. Yo,
Again.
too much. You know my answer, Reno.
I'd have to go with Fit for a King. I've been a
Knew
fan
that.
of them for a much longer period of time than I've been a fan of Alpha Wolf. Really love both of their new albums. But just for me, Fit for a King is kind of a band that I more or less grew up on as far as like listening to metal. So they hold a special place in my heart,
Right.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna say Fit for a King, but I do love me some Alpha Wolf.
This is a very hard question for me because I put them in like kind of different categories to an extent. So
Yeah,
like,
one's like hardcore and one's like their own kind
I
of.
mean, I guess it just, people have called them different things. I would say like for slightly heavier stuff, like in the hardcore realm, Alpha Wolf is like my number one right now, especially with the new album. I love it. Like I've been listening to it every single day. But I think I'm in the same boat as Grant, like slightly, just because I've known Fit for a King longer and I probably know more of their songs, I would say. And we got to do a show with their drummer, Jared, and he was so nice. So I'm going to give them the win on that for sure.
You
But
picked
it's
Alpha
close.
Wolf. Jared was going to unfollow you on Twitter, I bet.
I know, and that was so hard to get, man. And he'd just be like, nope, we're not friends anymore, bye.
Oh.
That's such a hard question. I'm not gonna lie.
But
I
what
love
about you?
both
What
of
about
those
you?
bands.
If I had to pick one, dude, I'm picking Fit. I really like the new album, and
It's
like,
good.
dude, overall, yeah, like I grew up on these dudes. I've been listening to them for the past 7 years. But Alpha Wolf, dude, as far as like that hard scene, I would definitely put them above like a lot of,
Yeah.
the other ones.
It was them and Dealer, but then Dealer had their,
Oh,
what
yeah, they got
happened.
canceled.
Yeah.
Before that happened, I liked Dealer more than Alpha Wolf, but then yeah.
The truth.
Well, what's up with like Aussie core being so heavy and like?
I know, it's crazy. There's so many Aussie bands that are like actually super good coming out. It's crazy.
Dude, it's ridiculous. I'm like, what are y'all drinking over there? Like, give me some.
For real.
All right, so I don't know if you've seen any of these shows, but I'll give it a shot. Floribama Shore or Naked and Afraid?
I haven't watched either of them, but I haven't even heard of the first one. So I guess Naked and Afraid wins by default. I don't.
It was like a knockoff of Jersey Shore, and it's like it's still on or whatever. I think they're on like season 3 or 4 or something like that. But
Huh.
It's crazy.
I can imagine that's pretty wild. Ugh.
I haven't seen the first one. Sounds interesting. I haven't seen the first one, so like I'll just come home from like doing something, and I'll just see like butt cheeks on the screen. I'm like, Mom, what are you watching? And it's Naked and Afraid. So I'll just say Naked and Afraid.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Naked and Afraid too. That was like for a while was like the really weird like show that I would binge. But yeah, no, that'd be like that weird show. I'd like come home from school and we'd like turn on TLC or whatever it was on, and we'd just be like, and I wouldn't realize it at the time, but like now I'm like, why did we watch that together? That is so weird to think about. But I guess the survival part was kind of cool, like learning about that. But yeah, that was an interesting show.
It was on last night, and I caught myself watching it, and I was like, wow, every episode is like the fucking same.
Yes, that too.
If we could go to a show, would you be in the mosh pit or would you be standing in the back?
For me, I would always be in the back. I've only like, even with all the shows that we go to and play at, like I always am in the back. I've been in a mosh pit like 2 or 3 times. I enjoy it, but I really like to just listen to the music and watch the performances. I really like observing that and being able to kind of see it and then hear it. So sometimes I always like to just be in the back. There are very special occasions where I would absolutely go up and throw myself in a pit for a while, but it's typically just going to be the back of the room for me.
Mosh pit.
Nice.
I'm pretty weird with it because if it's like a song that I don't know as well, then a lot of time I will stay in the back because I like to study what the drummer does in like a bunch of different bands just to like, you know, see how they do things and like get ideas or whatever. But like I remember I was doing that at a like Moths to Flames show, and then they played You Won't Be Missed, and I went, nope, never mind, I'm going in the pit, and I just could not help myself.
Yeah.
So it definitely depends, but I definitely love the mosh pit. I remember, actually, I don't think either of you guys were at that show, but there's the venue around here called Park Street that actually closed down. But Fit for a King was playing. I jumped off that stage, I think, 12 times in a row
Shit.
that night just because I was just like, this is sick, dude, like, because I had never done it before. So that was great.
That's great.
Awesome. I've been to some shows where like they didn't really catch the people, so that was sketch. So I hopefully you did it 12 times, so I'm sure they were catching
Assuming
you.
somebody was catching you each of these times.
Oh yeah, I was like swan diving on people. I'm like, how are they catching me? This is great.
That's sick. You said like Moths to Flames, one of my favorite bands, but one of the sickest mosh pits I've ever seen for sure.
Absolutely, that was one of the ones I have in recent memory that I actually was like, you know what? I actually feel like I need to be down there. I can't just like watch this. I gotta. They play Bury Your Pain. I can't be just standing over here. Come on.
That'll be the most memorable mosh pit I'll ever like. Bury Your Pain, right when.
Hell yeah, dude. And like the mosh pit wasn't like kicking and fucking all that shit. Like it wasn't like an actual mosh pit. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. There's always like the one guy.
The one guy that's doing the spin kicks, and you're like, dude, chill. Just go over there, please.
Bro.
The Mummy or Planet of the Apes, and I mean like the franchise collectively.
Ooh, I think for me the most recent Planet of the Apes series that they did absolutely wins. the original Mummy movie, I think if it was just one individual movie, I'd have picked the Mummy. But if it's the series as a whole, yeah, definitely Planet of the Apes. Those so good. Those
It's a
so
cool
well done.
concept. Yeah, monkeys with AKs.
How can you not?
Yeah, I like Planet of the Apes more too, and I've admittedly seen more of those movies as well. But I liked them when I saw them for sure.
I don't know if you guys watch sports, but Stanley
Yeah,
Cup's on right now and NFL's on. So Stanley Cup or NFL?
For me,
Grant,
honestly,
neither.
It would depend on the watching setting. Because like if it's getting together with a bunch of friends and watching a game, I would pick football. But if it's actually going to the game, I would absolutely pick hockey. Because there's just something about the atmosphere at a hockey game that is just the weirdest and one of the most enjoyable experiences. So I would have to, I don't know, I'm split.
It's NFL because I know what is going on. I just don't really pay attention to hockey. But you're right. Yeah, the atmosphere at hockey games, there's like just the popcorn's way too salty, and I don't know. I like it, but I would say NFL.
I am a huge football junkie, and unfortunately a Browns fan, so I have to watch all their games because then if they win, then I'll see it. So it's NFL for me, but yeah, same thing. I really like the Blue Jackets, so if they're doing anything significant or if I can go to a game in person, I'm definitely going to take the opportunity. But I don't really watch that like as religiously as I watch football, that's for sure.
Yeah, I've been trying to get more into hockey this year for some reason. I just feel like NFL is kind of stale. That, and I'm a Panthers fan, so that's not very. Yeah, it's big time move. Bad Omens or Crystal Lake?
Ooh,
I'd have to say Crystal Lake. I listen to them more regularly than I do Bad Omens.
I've probably heard one song from each of those bands. I'm so sorry.
well, we played with Bad Omens, remember?
Oh, dude.
Do you remember them?
He doesn't remember.
I don't.
It was the We Came
I'll
of
say
Rome show.
I'll say Crystal Lake because I heard one of their songs. I can't remember what it was. I heard one of their songs recently, and it was really good.
It's all the ones that I show you.
It was the one
Probably.
we were writing. You showed me or something.
Yeah, I showed you Prometheus, I think.
It was good, dude. I liked it.
Yeah. For me, it's Crystal Lake, but Bad Omens is definitely a band I want to get more into because a lot of people like them, obviously, and we did get a chance to play with them, and I really liked their sound when we did. So I'd like to get into them more.
Do you think they kind of rip off like Bring Me?
Oh, I do know them.
There it is.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's related to that band. I think they can, but I like with most bands, like I try to stay away from like saying they're ripping off. Like even with like Greta Van Fleet, where you're like, this sounds exactly like Led Zeppelin. I'm like, yeah, but like they still have some semblance of their own sound in there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's usually where I go with stuff like that.
Yeah, that wasn't like a direct dig. I just wanted to know another opinion. I think their newer shit sounds nothing like their older shit as far as Bad Omens.
Maybe they are ripping off Bring Me then.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's a good point.
All jokes.
All right, so I want to know who you think would win in this fight, Justin Bieber or Harry Styles?
Oh.
I'm gonna say Justin Bieber because he looks way scrappier than Harry Styles does. I don't know how long Harry Styles would last in a fight.
I love Harry Styles, but based on this picture of him, I will have to say Justin Bieber.
I want to know do you remember how tall Harry Styles is? I want to know that.
Honestly, probably taller than Justin Bieber. He's British, actually. Wait. Harry will mentally destroy Justin before he can even throw a hand at him.
I feel like he's like a sleeper, you know? Like he doesn't look like he's big, but then he gets in a fight and he just destroys people. Like,
Harry Styles is 6 foot tall, 6 foot flat.
Yeah, I'm going with him. I'm just gonna. I think he could do it.
Oh, Justin Bieber coming in at 5'9".
Yeah, I think Harry could do it. If he like was going full at it, I think he's got him.
I don't know, man. Here, wait. Look at this picture. Who's? I don't know.
So it's actually very close. That's funny.
That's tough. I don't know. I think Bieber looks like he could kick Harry Styles' ass.
That's what I mean. Like, I feel like Harry's a sleeper. Like, you wouldn't expect it, but he could.
Yeah, I think he could. I mean, just the height advantage. I mean,
Yeah.
5'9". I mean, that's not a huge difference, but dude, I mean,
Oh, it is.
if throwing punches, I mean,
5'9" to 6
significant.
foot's like.
yeah, dude.
Ish.
73 Roadrunner or 2021 Toyota Supra.
I know nothing about cars. I'm sorry. I really have no idea.
Yeah, dude.
With my taste, I'd probably just pick whichever one is newer.
I wish you said the old Supra.
Oh yeah. Well, all right. So if it was the older Supra,
Yeah, older Supra. Probably newer Supra too. Ow, no.
Oh, no.
That's
But
my.
it was basically like, would you rather have a classic car or would you rather just have something like up to date, straight off the lot?
Probably a classic car, but not a Roadrunner.
I'm not as into cars as Hayden, but I'm trying to get there more or less. But yeah, no, I'd probably say the same. I think I'd like a classic car a little bit more, but I mean, it would really depend. I would have to probably drive them both and then decide that way.
Dream on Dreamer or Silverstein?
Ooh, Silverstein.
Silver.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all of us. Silverstein for sure.
I can't. To be fair, I haven't heard anything from Dream on Dreamer, so I take that with a grain of salt.
I've heard a little bit of their stuff, but just Silverstein just hits so different every time. I love it.
No.
It's so good.
What's y'all's favorite album?
The Buffalo one.
The Buffalo.
What is it?
Yeah.
This is how the wind shifts, right?
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like that riff in Stand Amid the Roar was literally the riff that we our band around.
That was a formative riff for Hayden.
Yeah.
I think Dead Reflections is probably my favorite.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I think Stand Amid the Roar and like all of Beartooth's stuff, we're like both of those at the same time. And
I want to be that.
That's where it came from. Yeah.
I think my favorite was Shipwreck in the Sand. I love that album.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys play games, but Kingdom Hearts 3 or Borderlands 3?
Oh, Borderlands 3.
Borderlands
Give
3.
me,
I haven't
give
played
me
them.
my stupid comic book humor with weird-looking crazy people. I love it.
Actually, Ethan liked.
Huge Kingdom Hearts fan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but for me, Borderlands, no hesitation.
I've only watched you play Borderlands. I love games, but I've only watched you play Borderlands, and it's dope.
Yeah, I'd do Borderlands as well. But I would still love to play Kingdom Hearts, obviously, because they're both really great
I
franchises.
want to see what the hype is about.
Would you rather be 21 and immortal or die and go to heaven?
I'd probably rather live a full life and then die and go to heaven, yeah.
Same. I would love to see my main man up there. Not here, kind of, but yeah.
I don't know. I think it could be very interesting either way. I'd probably say the same answer as them because I feel like I would think it's a great idea to be 21 and immortal, and then I'd get like a couple
100 years down the road, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
A couple hundred years down the road, I'm like, I've made a terrible decision because now all my friends are dead, and all these people annoy me. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't do that immortal shit. Like the whole vampire thing just never was appeal to me.
It doesn't sit right with me, you know?
So funny.
It'd be cool for a little bit, and then you just be like, I hate this.
Well, I was just thinking about like Twilight, and like I remember when I was in high school, and that was such a huge fucking movie, book, whatever, and everyone was like, "Yeah, I would love to do that," and I'm like, "I would hate to do that."
Yeah, right.
Nobody would
Especially
ever
as a
take
high
you
schooler,
serious.
you're like, I'm not even old enough to do everything yet, and you're gonna stick me like this forever? No.
Oh my god! Which game show could you see yourself being on? Fear Factor or Wipeout?
Ooh.
Oh, Wipeout. I'm not good with all those like
break in
creepy
half.
crawlies and stuff that they
You'd
put on
break your
Fear
back,
Factor.
dude.
Yeah, I would rather break my back than have to deal with all this stuff they do on Fear Factor. Plus, I feel like I could be okay if let me train up a little bit. I'd be fine on Wipeout. It'd be great.
I don't know. Wipeout, like, it looks easy, but I really feel like it's not.
No.
I also feel like every time I watch Wipeout, I'm like, you're so dumb. Like, you just do the thing. And I'll say Wipeout because I want to do like the last course, like the final course. That looks so fun.
Yeah, I'd say Wipeout as well. I think the only thing that would freak me out though is like some of the heights ones, like falling into the water from like 20 feet or 30 feet. I would not like that, but all the other stuff, I think it'd be okay. It probably wouldn't be fun, but it's better than having to like eat goat testicles or something, like raw goat testicles or whatever they do on there.
That's I think that's how they got canceled too. Like it was something like, it was like eat testicles or something like that, and that's what inevitably got them canceled or whatever.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, they're like, this is fine, and then I think did somebody get sick or something like that, and they like got mad?
I'm not sure. I don't want to lie and be like, I don't. I have no idea. I heard it on the Joe Rogan Experience the other day.
Yeah,
he was talking about how they got canceled.
Rest in peace.
Right. Fargo, the TV show, or Shameless?
I haven't watched through either of them, but I think for me, I'd have to go with Fargo because I'm more into some of the more like serious, like the kind of suspense, like intrigue stuff that they do in Fargo over whatever is happening in Shameless.
I haven't seen them, so I can't say anything.
I haven't either, but based off of what I've heard about both of them, I think Shameless might be the one that I would like start first. Like I'd be more interested in watching at first. So I guess that's my thing. It's a little bit different type of answer, but yeah.
Yeah, no worries. I just started Fargo yesterday. Dude, it's pretty fucking brutal. Like the first episode, I was like, damn, like I don't want to give it away, but just watch the first one and it'll either hook you or you'll just be like, fuck
or
this.
Immediately just push you away and you're like, nope, never touching that again.
But I will say that it's like based on a true story. And they like try to stay like factual to that story as possible, and like cool. The only thing different is they change the names, obviously, but it's supposed to be like the true actual events that happened. Pretty fucking crazy.
I do like historical stuff like that though, so I might actually watch that too.
Whose movies do you like better, Quentin Tarantino or Oliver Stone?
What's an Oliver Stone movie off the top of your head? Do you know? Like, can you name one?
Here, I had it pulled up because I had a feeling. All right, so notably Scarface, Conan, World Trade Center, Savages, Any Given Sunday.
Okay.
Natural Born Killers.
Yeah, I think for me it'd probably be Tarantino. I appreciate some of the like flashier stuff he does. Like I've watched both parts of Kill Bill, and some of his more recent stuff too, like the Hateful Eight. I think that's his. But I enjoy that kind of like flashier, sometimes like hyper violent stuff. I think it's fun.
I honestly haven't seen any of those movies. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it turns out we as a band don't actually know anything about anything.
Well, I don't watch I don't intake.
I don't consume media.
Yeah.
We live under a rock.
I just kind of like sit in my room and I just kind of like have a guitar and I'm just like, ding. Like that's just what I do 24/7.
Mine's got to be Tarantino though too, because I'm saying thing as Grant. Some of the like hyper violent stuff, I'm like, ooh, this is it. I really like this. Like same with Kill Bill. I think I saw that like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe for the first time, and I was like, yeah, this is really cool. I like this.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, I grew up watching Quentin Tarantino, so, like, that's always been a staple in my catalog, whatever. Do you guys like mobile gaming or console gaming?
I prefer console gaming, yeah.
PC Master Race.
Uh-oh.
Console, for sure.
Yeah, console 100%.
Well, I heard, like, the new base Xbox is, like, $300, right?
I know.
Yeah, they knocked those prices on a ton from
That's great.
I was like, I'm going to go build a PC. And then I bought, like, a couple parts. And then I look around, and it was, like, Xbox for less than the part that you just bought. And I was like, are you serious, dude?
Yeah, I love that.
What's something that everyone loves but you seem to hate? All right, here's an example. American Idol, The Masked Singer, Kim Kardashian.
Grant's like, just
Can I just say celebrity culture as a whole?
Yeah.
Yeah, that and like, or I guess social media culture for me is something like everyone's always is like hyper fixated on their social media stuff, and that's something I've never understood. You can tell because I have the least followers and activity out of anyone in the band. I'm by miles. So it's
You
just something that
posted
has
yesterday and said, "Hey, by the way, I'm still alive."
Still alive. Yeah,
oh yeah.
it's just something that's never really clicked with me in the same way it seems to for most other people.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, same though, because like I used to care about. I would like to switch that around and be like more like not really caring what people think about anything that you do or like how you dress or like how you act. Like I used to be so like I need to act a certain way, I need to dress a certain way to be cool and popular, and so I have friends and stuff, and just let it go, bro. It's amazing. People start to hate you, and then you're like, hey.
Yeah, I think for me it's like kind of celebrity culture, but more like the social media star people. Like, because I just really don't care.
Influencers.
Yeah, because like, and it's not really that I hate it necessarily. Like, I don't really care. Like, I don't mind it either. But like, my sister or my cousin was over the other day. She's like, "Yeah, this guy from TikTok was over at my house the other day." And they're like, "Did you know that guy was there?" I'm like, "I don't know who that is, and I really do not care whatsoever." I'm like, he makes videos online for money. That's really great. I hope it goes well for him. That's about it.
On the other hand, you're like, Jared follows me.
Hey, well, he's a homie in the music industry. That's different for me. I like that stuff. But if it's just like, I make funny videos on TikTok and I show my body, give me money, I'm like, I really just don't care. I'm like, cool.
God, yeah. That's such a, you just made me think of something. But yeah, like all I see now is like people trying to fucking show their OnlyFans or whatever, and I'm like, what is this coming to now? Like,
jeez, dude.
Well, like for me, it's not like, oh, I hate OnlyFans or whatever, but I'm just like, I don't get why people get like so hyped up over it.
Yeah, bro. What happened to making a band? Why did you
Just go make a band.
straight to that?
Stick around here.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Back in my day, if I wanted attention, I had to go play loud music. Yeah.
I'm not throwing shade at people with the OnlyFans thing. Hey, do what you gotta do, hustle on or whatever.
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
That's just all I'm seeing lately on my feed. I'm like, damn, like that's all I'm seeing. So anyway.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
Yeah. Which one do you like better, EDM or ska?
Oh.
Ooh. Ska, specifically the band Big Fat Meanies. They're a band that we ran into when we played a show in Pennsylvania at the Launch Conference / festival that like introduced me to ska in like a live setting really. And I was blown away, like super impressive just as a whole. Watching like I think there were like 9 of them on stage. Like to me that's
more than that.
unthinkable to have that many people on stage in a band. But like witnessing that and like seeing them just rock that, I was like, I have newfound respect for ska thanks to them.
I do appreciate EDM a lot. I used to listen to it a lot, and I like what it's like turning into, especially with like what Bring Me the Horizon did with what's their one song on Amo? I can't remember. It's like something blues or.
Is it Nihilist Blues?
Yeah, Nihilist Blues. That's I like their take on it, but because of Big Fat Meanies, they have changed me, and I will have to say ska.
Changed me.
Nice.
Yeah, I like ska, but I was into EDM and like dubstep, everything, all throughout middle school and some high school, and still listen to it a lot. So I have to say EDM stuff probably for me.
Yeah, my wife's huge into EDM. She actually kind of got me into it, and I was like, "Damn, I guess we just both like breakdowns." I think that's like a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, they're very similar in like the way their music scene is, and it's really funny.
Oh yeah, dude. It's crazy because it's like the other side of the spectrum. It's like all these like high school students that are like not like metalheads, and they just go and do mosh pits, and then they'll like show up to a metal show and be like, "You do mosh pits too?" Like what?
I would like to see more just fusion of both. Like, you guys ever hear like Excision? Like,
Yes,
he has a lot
I
of
love
metal
his
shit,
stuff.
and it's fucking cool.
Oh
That's
yeah,
why I like
he was one of the
Skrillex.
ones I loved.
That's why I
yeah.
like Skrillex too, because he did a bunch of stuff with like Korn and like metal bands a long time ago.
hmm
That stuff was crazy.
And now, gotten to the last of my icebreaker questions. What's the worst song of all time?
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know. I think for me, the worst song varies by like what exactly is stuck in my head at the moment. So like if I hear something and I just can't get it out of my head in that moment, that is the worst song in the world to me. But I can't really think of anything that like anytime I hear it, I'm like, that's the worst song ever. I don't want to hear that. Oh, never mind. WAP.
I thought somebody would say that for some
Yeah.
reason.
But it's mostly for the same reason. It's like I have just heard so much of it that I'm like, okay, can we be done with that now? Move on.
Yeah.
Macaroni and the pop. Yeah,
nice.
I don't know how many times I've heard that.
Ugh.
It's funny that that's like socially acceptable. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like it's just that dirty, I
I
guess.
get what
It's
you're
like,
saying.
what?
Yeah,
Like, I don't know.
I
mean,
think
I
it'd
don't
be
know.
hilarious to try and imagine somebody releasing a song like that like 10 years ago.
Mhm.
Like, I cannot imagine the backlash that, like, that would have got shut down so fast in,
Well,
like,
it's weird
mainstream
because,
media.
like,
Nobody would listen to that. But then,
dude, but then you see like I saw what they said on the Howard Stern show during like the 9/11 attacks, and you listen back to that after this amount of time, and that sounds like not socially acceptable now at all. Some of the stuff he said,
Oh yeah, dude.
but like back then it was fine. So it's weird. It like shifted in a weird way.
hmm
Like music, you can get away with a lot more, but like just like commentary wise, you can't really say that much compared to like 10 years ago. It's really weird.
Yeah, and I wasn't like trying to come off like sexist. Like, I don't like it when I hear rap songs that are like my dick and all that shit. Like, I always skip those songs. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I don't really like any of that
Yeah.
type of shit. I'm just like, it's not what I listen to music for.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%.
I don't know. I just don't like it when it's so blatantly obvious that like you're just selling sex or whatever. I don't know why. It feels gross to me, and I'm just like, whatever. But I mean, hey, teach his own, man.
Yeah. That's my life motto, to each his own.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, I'm not gonna knock someone for liking it. I mean, that's you, man. That's not me though.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you guys for playing my icebreaker questions. I hope you guys liked that as much as I did.
It was
Yeah,
fun.
it was fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's always fun chatting just random nonsense knowledge with people. It makes a great icebreaker.
Yeah. What have you guys been up to lately?
Well, so for the past month of September, we every weekend have actually rented a flatbed truck with a local company here that does like towing and stuff. Was nice enough to let us rent a truck from them, and we set our stuff up, all of our equipment on the back of that truck, put a generator down, and played shows in a couple of neighborhoods over the past couple of weekends. So that was something we've been doing. That's really what most of our time has been spent on, at least in the past couple of weeks.
We've been writing some music, getting together in Grant's basement. We got jobs for a little bit because we're trying to save up for a van so we can go touring. Not use your dad's fantastic Grand Caravan.
Yeah, it's not fantastic. You don't have to lie.
It's great.
Love the old girl.
Yeah, I mean, we've just been busy just really working on like things that we don't normally get to work on. Like we got to kind of sit down with our website and do some marketing things and sit down with our social media and figure that out. Like it's a lot of like, live shows stopped so we can focus on some different things that we don't normally have the time to
It's
do.
like a lot of preparation type stuff. I would say.
Yeah.
Like, getting money for the van, getting our website up to date. We hired like someone to run some of our social media for us. Like we'll still like it's usually me, but I'll still respond to all the messages and comments and stuff as the band. But as far as putting out the posts, we have help with that now. One of our friends, Faith, who's amazing at it, really good. But yeah, a lot of prep work because otherwise we'd be out playing shows right now if we could.
Yeah.
But everything got shut down.
Right. That sucks too, because you guys just put out that new album, so I'm sure you want to get on the road and play that, right?
Yeah. As much as we do, I mean, I think the reason why we did it, we released the album during the pandemic, was because we were just like we just really wanted to share our music with everybody, so that if it helps somebody, then it was worth it. It was kind of the whole idea, because we were gonna wait and just kind of like wait till it all went away and just gone on tour, but I don't know, it just felt like the right thing to do.
Yeah, and that's another thing we've been doing a lot of. We've worked with a couple of different youth rallies and different things. It's been very different than it has been like the past year. But we participated in a couple of mental behavioral health focused youth rallies, things like that. We participated in here in Columbus. Our Youth Prevention Action Alliance hosts a rally called the We Are the Majority Rally. We got to perform for that on a digital kind of live stream setup that they did this year. Yeah, and a couple of other things like that. We've is it the 320 Fest that it? Mm-hmm. It's the Chester Bennington Memorial Festival. They were kind enough to reach out, and we got to do an Instagram takeover on their page where we just kind of sat on their live stream and talked to people about what we do as a band and some of the things we focus on as far as mental health goes and things we're working on with that.
That's really cool. I saw the live performance. I'm trying to look for it right now. Sorry. But okay, Screen Back Live.
Oh, are we talking about the music video itself?
Yeah, it's it says hashtag WATM 2020.
Oh no, that's
yeah.
the online rally that we got to do. They were kind enough to give us the footage, and we ended up being able to put that out, which was cool. But so it was that's one of the things that we did. When was that? That was April, I think, early April.
Yeah, it was around then.
Yeah, so they actually, the way they ran it, they pre-recorded a bunch of different segments they had different speakers and a couple of other resource portions of it planned out. And then they recorded us, and then they kind of cut it all together and streamed it out to the people that would have normally attended in person. So it's really cool.
That kind of segues perfectly into what I wanted to ask you guys about. So Pray for Sleep, is that name inspired from anxiety or whatever, and you're not able to sleep and you stay up all night? Is it that sort of thing?
Yep, that's actually exactly what it is. I think you're the first person we've interviewed with that explained it to us rather than asking where it came from.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was in the naming process and in the writing process as a whole. We focus a lot on our personal struggles with mental behavioral health, with anxiety and depression and different things like that. Really just wanted to kind of pick something out that we thought could be relatable to people that are struggling with or dealing with what we've dealt with in the past, as that's kind of more or less our target audience. So yeah, you got the nail on the head with that.
Nice. I mean, that's something I struggle with myself, mental issues or whatever. I just get in my own head sometimes. I can be kind of depressed and anxious and shit like that, as we all are. But what are some things that you would recommend that help you out in your time of darkness that maybe you can pass on to a listener or viewer?
Yeah, I mean, I know for me, there's been a handful of different things I've done. For me, I was in a real dark spot for a long time. I ended up with professional counseling and had all of that stuff for a long time. I was on antidepressants for a long time. And as far as that goes, I definitely want to, encourage people. There's no shame in needing anything like that. I absolutely recommend like therapy or counseling to anyone that has it available. It was one of the biggest parts for me, as far as like recovery goes. But yeah, I think, finding healthy ways to kind of pull yourself out of that, whether it's like picking a new hobby to start, or it's, if I'm starting to feel anxious, I go and just draw a bunch of circles on a piece of paper just to give my mind something to focus on, or, small things like that. Or, if it's, you enjoy running, then maybe that just means, hey, I'm just going to go take a run and listen to some music and kind of clear my head that way. I mean, it's different for every person, but I think the biggest part is finding ways to kind of get yourself out of that when you get into it, or having people that you can call on. Like, I know for me, in high school especially, there would be times where it was like I just really needed someone to be there to listen to what I was thinking about and what was going on in my head, and just having friends that were available for me to reach out to and be like, hey, can I just talk to you for a minute? Can we hop on the phone or go get some ice cream or something? Is definitely, it's really important to have people around you, because one of the most dangerous things as far as fighting anxiety and depression and any mental health issues is isolation. Just becomes very destructive very quickly. It's something that's definitely, it's hard to get away from, and hard to stay away from, but definitely very important to focus on.
Yeah, honestly, like 2 days ago, I just found myself in a really big rut, and I just felt so alone. But honestly, just like what you said, just surround yourself with people with like that just like care about you and love you. And so I fell in a rut, and I reached out, and I was just like, dude, I am just so sad and I don't know what to do. She was just like, just get up, let's play some games, and then see how you feel. And I was like, I really don't want to do it, but I listened to her, and then I got up, and then felt better. It was because I surround myself with people that have a positive influence on me. So yeah, it's really important to do that.
I dealt with a lot of like anxiety and depression, but anxiety was like my worst like thing that I had to deal with. I still do on occasion, but back in high school it was really, really bad, to the point where I'd be having like, I'd be like going to bed, and then I'd have a panic attack out of nowhere, and I just wouldn't sleep that night type of thing. So a couple of things that I learned on dealing with that was, it's different for everyone. Like, I know Grant said that one of the things that helps him is like drawing circles on a paper, getting his mind distracted. But something that I did is, well, first I would go down to my mom, because she dealt with it just as bad as me, if not worse. So she would help initially calm me down. But something that would help me is actually watching TV or watching videos on stuff that I liked. So I even do that now. Like when I go to bed, it's just become kind of a routine for me. I know it's not great, and any doctor would tell me it's not great to watch TV when I go to bed, but whatever. But yeah, like I would just go down in my living room and just watch TV and just like kind of get out of my own head, I think is the best way of describing it. Like, because I mean, pretty much every person that has anxiety, they know that what is giving them the anxiety is kind of irrational. Like deep down, they know like this is not like, if they were in their right mind and they thought that same thought, they'd be like, okay, that's not anything to be worried about, or it's going to be okay, or whatever it is. But you just get everything heightened during like a panic attack, or when it's really bad. It's just everything is turned up to 11, so you can't get away from it. So any way you can find that's going to help you get out of your own head and kind of reset everything, that's my biggest thing too. Because now I've even like had panic attacks like out in public, which is something I never had to deal with before. But it's just kind of learning how your own body works and how it reacts to certain things. So like I know, like if I breathe a certain way and I think about a certain thing and I kind of get my mind off of it, that's how I know I can get better. And if you don't know what that is, another thing that helped me, like I said, was talking to my mom, who's been through it, because someone that's been through it is the best person to ask about it, because they know exactly what it feels like and would know these are some things that help me. You should try this, this, and that.
Mhm.
So that, or, you know, going to a counselor is obviously a great way of doing it too. But if you can't get to that, like if you have a friend or family member that's been through it, talk to them. Like it helps so much. I could not recommend that enough.
Mhm. I've kind of found like through the podcast, I've kind of found myself being like the metalcore therapist for a lot of people. And I really enjoy that though. Like, cause I mean, I suffer with the same stuff that you guys mentioned as well, but I finding it like helping other people like that. I just get a kick out of it. Like I love helping other people. I love listening to other people and like trying to offer some type of input. I get a lot of value out of that. So like, you know, if you're listening, I know I don't know you and shit, but you know, if you ever need somebody to talk to and you just, you know, I'm always here. You know what I mean? Like, hit me up on Twitter or whatever. I'm always down for a good conversation. But like, that's something I enjoy, so I'm just gonna pass that on. But helping other people helps me a lot. I don't know if it's like that sounds narcissistic or some shit like that, but I get a lot of enjoyment out of like just doing stuff that somebody might find valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that's definitely. I mean, that's something I've heard a lot, even from counselors and therapists that I've talked to. You know, that's how they end up in the field like that. Like they've dealt with something and kind of moved on, and they're in a better place. And they're, you know, for them, the best thing that they can do with that experience and that knowledge is to then find other people that are struggling and to help them out of it. And the just seeing people get better and be healthier is a reward enough for them. So that's definitely. You hear it a lot, actually, in the mental health field. So,
yeah, that isolation thing is true. I live like in the country in like North Carolina. Like I live outside of Charlotte, and there's not like a whole lot of people that like obviously like listen to metal and like heavier stuff. I mean, they're few and far between, but it's not your typical, you know, it's not your typical demographic to run into people like that. And I'm sure you have the same where you live, but that's kind of why I started the podcast or whatever, because I wanted to reach out and like meet other people that kind of had the same things going on as me, and I just didn't want to feel so alone is what I'm trying to say.
yeah, and that's one of the big things we as a band, you know, try to push. Like the slogan we have printed on the back of our logo t-shirts is "We are not alone." Like that's one of our biggest message, you know, and through our music and our shows and our message that we want to put out to people is that, you know, no matter what you're going through, and no matter what you're dealing with, you're not alone in that, and you don't have to deal with it alone. And there are people around you that care about you and want to see you succeed and get better, and are willing to work with you to kind of help push you into a better spot. So that's definitely huge.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I mean, something that drew me into, you know, y'all's band or whatever was the fact that I saw so much of like the mental health and the behavioral messages that you guys like have on your post on Spotify and stuff like that. So I was like, man, this would be a good opportunity for me to reach out to you guys and like, you know, be able to talk to somebody about this type of stuff. Cause some bands, they don't really care to talk about this type of stuff, you know, it just depends on like who I'm speaking with. But anyway, so I'm going to segue away from that, the more serious side of things. I want to know, because it's a segment that I do on the show, but like, what is a crazy road story that you guys are willing to share?
Ooh.
Oh, this is fun. I have one I can start with real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
But you guys are going to be mad that I took it, that's for sure. So we haven't got to do a lot of like proper touring yet. Obviously, with us not having a van, but we have done a little bit of, you know, I think we mentioned a little bit, but we've done, you know, some stuff in Pennsylvania. We've done some stuff in Michigan. So we've started to kind of branch out a little bit, but that's kind of the next goal for us, is to start doing that more. But there was one weekend run that we were doing, and the plan was, we have some friends up in Cleveland that we play with pretty much once a year. So we were supposed to go play with them, and then we were going to drive to Indiana in the middle of nowhere, and then we were going to sleep for like 3 hours and then go to the next show in the morning and then hang out there for a little bit and then drive home. And we rented a van and did the whole thing. So we got to Cleveland. That went off pretty much without a hitch. Like I don't remember anything super significant happening that was wrong. But it's always a fun show. We played the Foundry up there if anyone's ever been there, but that venue is really fun. But then and the other thing too, if anyone that got us on that festival is listening, I don't want to throw shade at anyone because they basically, our friend that got us on this show, the people who were running the festival dropped it into their lap last second, so they had to scramble around and do a bunch of extra stuff. But basically, they called us that night, I think at like 11 o'clock at night. We were like right about to leave. We're just waiting to get paid for the night, like based off of ticket sales. And they were like, hey, so, the band Red, if you know them, was playing. They're like I think they're technically a Christian band, but they're like a hard rock band, basically.
Yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they're pretty good. And basically, we were told that we were 2 bands before them on the main stage. We're like, bet. It's going to be awesome. She calls us. She goes, hey, quick change of plans. I'm going to need you guys to play at noon on the 3rd stage instead. And we were like, don't want to sound like rude or anything, but that's like kind of the complete opposite of what we were promised. And we got to drive all the way there. We don't know what time we're going to get there, whatever. But we were like, as you could probably tell, we're normally pretty easygoing guys. Like, we try to be like pretty nice and everything. You're just kind of like, we're tired, all this stuff. We don't really know what to do because we don't have a contract signed, so that's kind of our fault. But they're really switching up the plan on us. But I being the optimist, was like, come on, guys, let's just go. It's going to be sweet. There's still going to be people there. It's going to be great. I promise. And they were like, all right. So we went, slept for 2 hours in some random Airbnb in the middle of freaking nowhere, Indiana. I don't even remember where it was. And then we got there, and they were like, all right, it's time to set up. And I was like, where are all the people at? And they were like, we don't know. And it was like us, our dads, and like 3 guys from another band that I've never heard of. And we set up, and we're getting ready to play for literally nobody. And I was just like, you know what? This is just a glorified practice. It's cool. We played in Indiana. Don't care. And right as because I do the backing tracks on the computer. Mm-hmm. I press the spacebar to start. Everything shuts off. Like, everything. I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me, dude. Like, everything that's already happened, it's got to lead up to everything breaking. Because we've got, like, thousands of dollars worth of equipment in our in-ear rig, basically. So I'm like, they just broke, I don't know how many thousands of dollars worth of equipment in, like, half a second. Because I thought it blew. But I guess a power strip blew there. But even still, it was just so weird. And then we ended up playing for no one, and then having, like, the 3 guys just like, yeah! And I was like, I'm still gonna have fun, man. But it ended up being okay. Like, it wasn't the end of the world or anything, but it just felt like one of those days where, like, everything kept, like, one thing after another, and you're just like, I gotta be positive, man. I'm not gonna be rude to anybody because they got us on this show. But yeah, it was a very interesting experience, that is for sure.
We left out the one part where we were like kind of hopeless. We're like, man, we're playing first, and then we showed up and we saw Red's tour bus leaving.
Yeah, that's true too.
And we were like, no way, that's them. It was kind of a train wreck of a day.
Yeah, I felt really bad. I felt real bad for all the people that were trying to organize that too, because like it was supposed to be a festival that effectively got canceled, and they dropped pretty much everything they had planned for it. And then like 3 weeks before the date that they had the venue booked for, they like gave it to somebody else and were like, salvage this, do your best. And they tried so hard, but it just like was such a bad circumstance all around that it just ended up not really coming together. Like, their stage that they were supposed to have didn't come through, so they had to get a smaller one that didn't have everything that they promised some of the headlining bands. And it was a bad day for everybody.
Well, yeah, Red had a writer that said they needed the stage to be a certain size for their like stage props. So that's why they ended up leaving. They came, they saw the stage for 10 minutes and then went, nah, and left.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think my favorite road story is we had another weekend run where we played a show in Michigan one night. We drove up to Michigan with a couple of with a friend. Where are they from originally?
They're from Toledo area.
Yeah, so
of Ohio.
we met a band playing a show in Toledo. They were like, "Hey, you guys are cool. Let's book a show together somewhere." We were like, "Cool, yeah, let's do it." So we booked a show in Michigan. Went up there, played that show, slept on his grandmother's floor, and then drove down to Youngstown to play in the basement of a bowling alley. And that was that weekend. But it was just so that was fun because the weirdest parts of me was just like, playing that show. We were like, where are we gonna sleep? And then he's like, oh, my grandma's letting us sleep on her floor. And we were like, oh, what? Okay.
We had $5 air mattresses, dude. Those were great.
Those were sick.
Reno, I thought when you said you're gonna be mad that I took this one, I thought you were gonna talk about the Rock on the Range story where. Okay, I'll say it.
Oh, yeah.
So we had this thing where we had the opportunity to play Rock on the Range, and we got a lot of publicity out of it. And one of the things that we ended up doing was another podcast with his name is Ant-Man, great guy.
Yeah.
So we're doing the podcast, commercial break, all the mics are muted.
I know, but I know what you're gonna say.
And he was like, all right, guys, the song is like kind of finishing up. And I was like, all right, I didn't see him turn on our mics. And we all had our headphones on. And I was like, penis. And he looked at me and he was like, all righty, we're back from the break. And then where the Rock on the Range ties in is, we get all ready. We like showed up to Rock on the Range, set up all of our stuff, about to go on stage. It's about to start, and the crowd starts chanting, "Penis, penis."
Oh man,
we just died. We were just
like 300 people maybe up front.
I was floored that many people just started chanting the P word.
Well, they could see us on the side stage because there was like the curtain and then there was like a little space in between. We're all standing there like shaking because we're like, oh my gosh, we're about to go out.
Yeah.
And they're just like, penis. And I got into it. I just was like, I'm gonna play into this. So I started pumping my fist like this to get them to keep going, and they kept going, and it was so funny.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen like a crowd of like 300 or 400 people saying that, but it's flooring.
I'm sure it is.
It's so great.
Fucking great stories, dudes. I really appreciate it like that. That's good. We are finally at our hour mark, so I'm gonna start kind of wrapping it up here. Dude, thank you guys so much for taking time out and doing this with me. I really appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. We really appreciate you reaching out and inviting us on. It was really cool to hear from you. We're always, we're looking for stuff to do right now with all the pandemic, having things shut down. So it's always cool to hear from people that are interested to talk about, just band stuff and talk music with.
Yeah, definitely. I found you guys on the Spotify editorials. I think it was like New Core playlist.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I'm so excited we got on that. That was one of the best things that's happened with that album cycle for sure.
Yeah, it's huge, dude. You're on there with like Outline and Color and, like, I don't know, just a bunch of good bands, man. That's awesome. I'm going to wrap it up since we started in a fun way. We're going to end this thing in a fun way. And I'm going to ask my final question that I ask everyone before we head out. If you could have anything in the world, tangible or not, what would it be?
Anything in the world?
Anything.
Jeez. You just going to like drop that on people? What are your favorite answers you've gotten while I think about that?
It just depends on the person. Like I've gotten some fucking silly ones and stuff like that. And then I've gotten, like deeper ones. It's like, world peace kind of stuff. But off the top, I can't think of like the funniest ones, but I was going to put a compilation video of like all the answers at the end of the year and just have fun with that. A lot of people say a steak dinner for some reason. They're like, I just want a big old ribeye. Give me a loaded potato.
Very American answer.
Yeah.
It's like a last meal request. I just want a steak, man, and then I'm good.
Yeah. And then some people said like, I don't know, some really techie, like I want this amp with this setup and shit like that. And
there you go. You got my answer for me. I would love a touring van. That would be my thing right now.
yeah, there you go.
Out of anything.
Since Grant, you said touring van, that frees up what I was gonna say. I would love another Pilot G2 pen.
I'm dead.
Really dope. Oh shoot! My wish came true. I thought I didn't have any left. Oh man, I'm so happy.
I know mine's more of a superpower type of deal, but I guess it kind of goes into that. I think having the ability to teleport would just be so helpful because I wouldn't have to literally do anything all the time. It would be awesome.
Wait. I would like to change my answer to unlimited deodorant. I always seem to run. That's it.
Did you like look at your desk and see you're out of deodorant? Yeah. Okay.
I had someone on the podcast I was thinking about it right now, but Scythe Gang 666, not 666, but 666. They're very, very adamant on that. But Maisie said that she would want to be able to fly, and she was like, "Well, I would like to fly, and then I could steal an Xbox." I was just like,
yeah, that was my like close second. It's flying, but I think teleporting just because it's like,
oh yeah,
like you're done.
I've said that
if I
before.
could teleport other things, then I could get my drums places without having to carry all the heavy things, and that would be awesome.
That would be sick. Because like we fly a lot, and I have terrible anxiety when it comes to flying, and I'm just like, man, I just want to be able to just boom, be there, and not have to like do the fly thing.
Yeah.
If I don't take Dramamine, man, it does not end well. I don't like it. I had to fly to the Dominican Republic.
Oh man, that's
the longest
a long
flight
one.
I did. Yeah, well, it was like it was Columbus to Atlanta, and then Atlanta to the Dominican.
Okay.
But like taking off, and anytime it moves, I'm just like because I don't even know if it's like in my brain. I don't know if you're the same way, but in my brain, I'm not like this plane is going to crash and we're all going to die. Like, I don't actively think that. It just freaks me out that I'm so out of control of the situation.
Yes.
That I literally, because like driving a car, you can get in a situation where you're out of control and everything, like get in a wreck, but you're still like, I am driving this car. I can move the wheel. I can stop. I can do all that. But the plane, I'm like, well, if that pilot messes up, we're dead, man. I can't. And it's moving in the sky for no reason. I don't know what's going on. Like, so I feel that 100%. I hate flying.
I think it's more of like, all right, so like if I was in the car with you guys and just say Grant is a terrible driver, I could be like, yo, I'm driving. You know what I mean? But like with the plane, it's like, you got to trust that guy. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, no one's going to step up and be like, all right, it's a little bumpy. I'm stepping in, buddy. You know?
Can you imagine somebody walking up to the cockpit and be like, I don't think you're doing very well. My turn.
I don't think you're doing very well. I'm in a band. I don't know if you've heard, but I'm taking over.
I'm taking over. It's over for you.
I played a Microsoft Flight Simulator, man. I think I got this. I got it.
And I will say this to anyone who's scared of flying. If you are scared of flying, do not fly, like don't ride in a smaller plane. Because in my opinion, those are more turbulent than those bigger ones, man.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we ever got a private band plane, but I don't think I would use it because I would be too scared.
We're saving up for it right now, so.
Yeah,
we're gonna skip the tour van and go straight for a tour airplane.
There you go.
The thing about it that it's like, I feel like every time, especially with musicians, every time that they've gotten in a plane accident, it's a private one. It's never commercial.
Yeah. Always.
Like, literally the day the music died, there you go. It was a private plane. Buddy Holly's dead. Like, Exhibit A, the worst one.
Yeah, but you gotta think though, back then, like how planes were, you know what I mean? Like
that's true too. Yeah,
I don't know if that's comparable till now, but like I don't know. I feel like it's always been kind of a sketchy thing, and it's like still kind of new to us in a lot of ways. Like it's not, they haven't worked out all the kinks. We'll just say.
Yeah, there you go.
Why is it moving in the sky? Can we stop that? Yeah.
Because I just feel like from when it went from like propellers to like jet engines, it was just like a matter of like I don't know, 30 years. I don't know. I'm terrible at
Yeah.
history, but I mean, it wasn't that long.
It
Yeah,
really
I
wasn't
think
that long.
if we can still lose an entire plane, you got to think there's still some things in the system we're figuring out as far as flight goes. Those can kind of just go missing somewhere.
And I'm sure there's some alien influence as well. We don't
There
know.
you go.
Yes, sir.
Who would know? Because like no one would be able to survive to tell that story. You know, like what if you know something like that happened? I don't know. Thanks again, guys. That was Pray for Sleep. Go check out their new full-length album, Behind Our Eyes. Again, I'm donating this episode to the Suicide Prevention Hotline. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'll share the link in the description, and you can do as you please with that. So thanks again for being on the show, and let me know if there's anything I can do for you guys.
Yeah, thanks again for having us, man.
Thanks, man.
That pretty much does it for the podcast. And if you made it this far, you're a real one. If you really enjoyed the show and are feeling mighty generous, for the small price of a pumpkin spiced latte, you can contribute to the podcast each month. I'll put a link to that in the show notes. Thanks again. And you don't have to donate anything. Sharing is completely free and always appreciated. Or you can follow me at native_podcast on all social media. Can't wait to see you on a future episode. And until then, shine on.
Hell yeah.